What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. This podcast is brought to you by HERR Apparel. Just doing it. Quote of the day, guys, because y'all know we can't start without it. And I figured since we are recording this 2 days before Valentine's Day, by the time y'all get it, it's the day after Valentine's Day. Here it is. When you love what you have everything you need.
Aw.
You know.
That's a shout out to my boo.
I mean, I'm just saying. Do you do Valentine's?
Hell no.
Does Dawn care for it?
Hell no.
Yeah, me either. I never have. It's not like just a recent thing. I just never have. I kind of find it, and I actually did a post a while back, like a long time ago, maybe like 2 years ago, about how I just don't care about the Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And how I feel like I was half and half attacked. Like half was good and half was attacked.
Well, on Instagram?
On Instagram. I have to find that one and we could repost it.
Okay, what was it?
Basically, I just kind of feel like there's 365 days in the year. Why is there one day dedicated to make me feel special? Like, you should make me feel special all the time. We should. Vice versa. Not just me, like each other. Like, do things for you. You do things for me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we should always it should always be Valentine's Day in your home, not just one fucking day out of the year because someone decided to put it on a calendar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how I feel about all of them. I feel like that about Mother's Day. I feel like that about most days, with the exception of like birthdays and big anniversaries. Like wedding anniversaries might be the only exceptions. I know you probably disagree with me on the Mother's Day.
I like that there's Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Kids Day.
Yeah.
I know Americans don't really celebrate
Kids Day?
Dia del Niño.
Oh.
But then they try to Mexico wasn't having it though. These new woke ones that work with Hollywood.
The Latinx ones?
Yeah, they wanted Dia del Ninx so that there's no gender.
Dia del Ninx. No seas pen.
It's like, bro, we all know that we have a masculine and neutered fucking vocabulary in Spanish. It does not mean that we're only focusing on one gender. Jesus Christ. It's like so annoying. But anyway, yes. So I think every day should be Mom's Day and Dad's Day because we do this job every day. It's not just one day out of the year. Now, granted, there are better moms than others and there's better dads than others.
Totally.
I will say that. But I think that one's okay. I'm not, and I don't expect anything either. I told you already, to me, it is I am more of crafts do like you do for me. Like if Pete were to say, you know what, today don't do anything. Like just sit here and do nothing. I'll do everything. That is the best Mother's Day gift to me. Like I don't need financial, I don't need any material item. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you're going to buy me a gift, why does it have to be Mother's Day to buy me a gift?
I know. I totally agree with you, man. Like depending on your love language too, your partner.
Yeah, I'm not a gift. I'm a,
words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation and more of actions like doing. You know what I'm saying?
Acts of kindness.
Acts of kindness. That's more me. That means way more to me than
totally
gifts.
Yeah, but if you're with somebody who
else.
really likes giving stuff, like the gift giving is like their love language, I could see why you might want to play into it if that's how they really are. But otherwise, if you're just doing it because of the day, don't have to.
I don't know that. I don't think Pete is. He's not a gift person either.
Yeah, I don't see him being as a
He doesn't
gift
care for it
giver.
either. To him, it's like, oh my God, another
thing I got to remember.
No, another thing I have to put in my closet. That's
That
his
too.
thing. So
Yeah.
for him, it's like, for him, it's that too. It's more of I want a day of just us together, or at least what he says. I'm not, I shouldn't speak for him, but I'm just saying that's what he says. Like that's to him. And for me, Valentine's Day, I like to spend it even when we had Mickey. Like, you know what I'm saying? When she was younger, not when we had her, but you know what I mean? Like, it was never a problem for me to have her on Valentine's Day. Like Pete proposed on Valentine's Day. That's what's funny because we're both kind of it's so cliche.
What?
He proposed on Valentine's Day.
So what is this how many years ago?
So we'll be married. Penny's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll be married 5 years this year.
So tomorrow, or when people
Well,
listened to
that's
this yesterday, was the
proposing.
proposal.
Yeah.
Do you like look at that day as anything significant?
I mean, I know what I know it's special to us, but it's not like celebrated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like for me, my anniversary day is my wedding anniversary is the day we went to the courthouse and got married.
Hell yeah. You did
know?
it big.
I mean,
we did the same thing.
So, I mean, that'd be the thing that I would consider our thing. But our like boyfriend and girlfriend anniversary is on his birthday, like in August. Because that's when he kind of let me know that I was his girlfriend. I think we told this story where I was like,
for content reasons, what was the like proposal like on Valentine's Day 2000, whatever that was?
I was cooking. And then I said, why don't you go play music? Because it was really quiet. Like we just were cooking and talking. I said, let's play some music.
Your place, his place?
No, we were living here.
Oh,
already.
you already living here?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, we were living here already. Yeah, we were living here already.
Okay.
Because I think I was cooking here. And I was cooking. And then I said, go put on some music. And we used to have that lamp from IKEA, the Sonos or whatever, in the other room where we used to podcast. And he was going to go get it. And he just starts playing Meet Me at the Altar by Jagged Edge, which you probably don't know what song that is. So I'm not even going to go there, Rob, because it's going to be a whole other discussion. And I was facing the stove, and Mickey kept saying, "Oh my God, oh my God!" And I turned around like, "Hey, what is this niña like? A niña going, oh my God about, you know?" Because you know how kids like Penny will do that sometimes, like, "Oh my God, mom, oh my God," you know, and just like, "What? Oh, I want you to see this." And I'm like, all that, like, I'm thinking something is wrong. Right. You know what I'm saying? So she's saying, "Oh my God, oh my God," and I turn around, and that's when I see Pete on one knee. And that's how he proposed. And then here's the funny thing. So then Mickey comes and looks at the ring. She's like, so there's no diamond on this ring?
Damn.
And then Pete's like, she picked it out, Mickey.
Fucking kids, man.
And she goes, you picked that ring out? I said, mm-hmm. She goes, oh. And I said, it does have little diamonds going around the band. And she's like, but you picked that one out? And I said, I did. And she had no idea why I would pick a ring with no stone. If I show you, there's this like ring that I used to sell, and I loved the shape of it. And I have it. It's like a stainless steel ring. And I said, if I ever got a ring that I wanted to, like a fancier ring, it has to look like that. And I'm gonna, when this episode drops, I'll post the picture of that ring in our Discord, so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. It literally is still just a little band like this. And instead of it having like a rock going up, it's still flat diamonds, but it's circle, but it's flat.
That sounds cool.
I just don't like anything up.
Yeah, that protrudes up.
I don't know why. I mean, I will wear bands for days. Like,
I love
anything flat, anything flat. And it's weird because I mean, I would consider myself flamboyant. Like, I like big gaudy stuff. I'm not going to act like I don't. But I'm somebody who likes to stack a bunch of stuff on. So I feel like a wedding ring, you can't play with it. Like, I can't do a lot of stuff with it. I have so many bands, additional bands that go to my wedding ring, and I just buy them. So if I feel like making it look real fancy, I have these other little bands that look like this that have a lot more of like and those are more reasonable because they're just add-ons to wedding rings. So I have a bunch of those. And so that's what I like to do because I don't like the same thing every day. Most people would be like, what? That makes no sense. You know, you have one.
Unless they know you.
Yeah.
Then it makes total sense.
Exactly. So I love that. I love being able to do versatile things with my wedding ring. And it's still cool because it's the right width. I do want the actual Cartier, these other two Cartier bands that go with it. But I don't know why I can't get myself to spend the money.
Because you're a responsible adult with 2 kids.
I know, but my wedding ring was up there too, just because it's, and we really, you're just paying for the name.
You are.
Because, I mean, it's just a gold band. You could have gotten a gold band anywhere.
And a lot of ladies right now are getting their Valentine's, or they just got their Valentine's Day, presents, and probably feeling good about them. That's great and all, but others didn't, and it's okay.
It's perfectly okay. Did he do something else?
Yeah.
Are you a stay-at-home mom, and do you get to not have to work?
Did he level up when he laid it down that night?
Maybe that's even, Did he do something different that he didn't do the other night?
Did he do a new move? What did he introduce?
That might be it. And if you're single, that's still okay. You gift yourself something. That's what I would do.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh, it's Valentine's Day. Let me go buy myself
yourself
something. We had a Valentine's Day event let's go back real quick.
All right.
So I don't know what I want to talk about today because I have so much. I always hate that I have to wait till Monday to talk about stuff, so I have to make notes so I don't forget. All right, let's talk about these markets. Friday night, killed it.
Nice, congrats.
It was great. A great crowd.
This was your sold out ticket one?
This was the sold out ticket. This was for the Sport Latina event. Very detailed oriented, as far as the aesthetic. It's funny because on the weekend before, the market required only white tents. And I was like, oh, this is so dumb.
I hate when they have those requirements.
But aesthetically, when you're there, it makes sense. When you were there, you knew this was smart. The tents that were colored or were already had. You know how you can get your tents custom made. A custom tent were either A, food vendors, or B, sponsors of the event.
Okay.
So it was kind of you get to advertise your business because you're obviously sponsoring the event, right? That's only fair. But it looked very cohesive, which you know how I am about cohesiveness. Friday night, the same thing. She obviously probably didn't want for people to bring their lawn chairs to sit there in this nice ballroom that she's rented out to have this Valentine's Day soiree, or however you pronounce the word.
Soiree.
I don't even know how you say it.
Soiree.
I was like, okay. That's like me with my French brand. I'm like, I really would like for it to say La Mansion Rosé. And Pete's like, what? What are you saying? I said, I don't know French, but I think that's a cool name for my other line. And he goes, okay, yeah, I like that too. And I said, and then Don and I were talking. I said, I think I just need to stick to La Casa Rosa.
I like that. I didn't even know that until Dawn mentioned it to me. I didn't know that's what was a name you had in mind.
Yeah, I kind of want something else. I want that part of it. Otherwise, what is it going to be? Her candles?
Yeah.
No, I can't. Right now, it's fine because we're in the preliminary part of this business thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm okay with it right now, but I do want to I'm trying to think of what I want the logo to look like. I don't know if I want a house, almost like Magnolia's house.
Okay.
But I don't know how to, I know in my brain, it's like how Penny says, I prayed for you in my brain, Mom. When I tell her I got to go to work, make sure you pray for me. Oh, it's funny. Wait, real quick. So then I'll go to, I'm telling you guys, when I tell you, I have so much to tell y'all right now. So anyway, the point of that was her tables all had the pink tablecloths, all the same color. The chairs were really nice. Everybody had their section. So basically it was like, bitches, I don't want y'all to make this look ghetto. So I am going to provide the aesthetic that I want, because I want the vibe to be a certain way. I mean, every detail, there was detail to everything, from the drinks, from the food. It was free food, free desserts, just a bunch of free stuff. I mean, it was just a thing full. And like I said, it was very detail oriented, from the cups to the drink to the tacos, so it was, that was good. It was a good night there. And it was also really good to see people when they would see finally, because I couldn't bring my pink tablecloth that says her in the front, right? Mm-hmm. It would have to be when they would come, whenever I would give them a card. oh, I've bought stuff from you before at a market. So I'm getting a lot of that here as I've been doing more markets. So it feels really good to start kind of planting seeds in people who probably normally wouldn't follow me or normally wouldn't know anything about me. It's like they're remembering me from another market where they bought something from me. So I thought that's always really a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? So because I'm trying to like introduce this new side of the business, right, which is the candles and the wax melts and all this. You could donate something for the giveaway, so I made sure to donate the candles and the wax melts. So that's what I did. So we'll see. And everybody that smells it or purchases, I'm like, oh my God, this smells so good. I was like, I know it does.
Little chemist over here.
Now let's talk about Saturday.
The next day. Okay. So Friday, huge success.
Just so y'all know, I worked all weekend. I barely saw my kids, if anyone cares to know. And that's why I didn't care if they all slept in my bed, because I wanted just them. I missed them. Like, I mean, I work during the week, but my weekends are just my kids. You know what I'm saying? So like whatever it is they want to do, I don't care if they want to eat junk all day. That's fine. I don't get to see y'all. Like, I mean, I do see them, but you know what I mean? It's like, I think every parent can kind of agree with me. You go to work, they go to school, you come home, it's dinner time, it's homework time, it's now bed routine, now go to bed. You know what I'm saying? It's like read a book together, work on whatever it is that you're working together, and then that's it. It's like the same thing the next day, you know? I mean, we have that routine, but like undivided attention to where it's like just us and we're playing and that's it. I got home on Saturday and I was done. I was so tired. I was like, man, I think I'm getting old, man. I'm really feeling it. Like, I'm really feeling it. Those markets wear you out. I don't know why.
Well, the amount of interactions you have to have, and the amount of time you have to be on, like on, and then the breakdown and the setup, and then the, you know, wherever you take it down after you get back home or your office or whatever. It's a lot.
It's a lot of work. I really encourage people, though, who are really trying to get their business. I think I said this last week when I did my last market with Miradela. If you are a new business, you should still try to do these markets. They're harsh. They're harsh because they are. But they're also a lot of fun because you get to meet people. You get to talk about your product. You get to like, you know, you get to put your face out there. People start to know you. I don't know why people are always surprised that I am there selling my own merchandise. I guess they would think that I have somebody else selling it, which I would like to get there eventually, bro. Because if I could just find someone to work like my sister, she's like, I think I said this last week. She was all like, ooh, she's like, when I do HR events, we hire people to come to decorate and set up the tables. And all I do is show up and be like, yes, I like that there. No, can you move it over there? I'm like, okay, Cynthia, well, I'm not there. So right now it's you and I, bro. So let's set up.
Also, it's not your brand, Cynthia. It's your company. Like, this is different.
I was like, so, you know, good for your brand. I mean, I'm good for your company that they provide that luxury for you. I was like, I'm not there yet. I said, but when I am, I said, trust, I will have that. And, but anyway, that was kind of cool. But Saturday, here's the thing. Bless their heart, because if there's somebody that goes to, I'm not going to say what school it was, but it was just at a school. It is a private school. They reached out. I said, absolutely. There was no fee. So of course it was a greater absolutely, because those markets are expensive, you know? And when I did markets back in the days, I remember thinking 125 or 175 was a lot. And usually it was really big markets that charged that. Okay. They were usually $75.
Yeah.
We're talking in 2005.
Oh, damn.
Woo! Am I old? Yes, I've been doing them that long. I was a different brand back then, though. I literally handmade everything, though. I was more of a crafter. That's what I was, a artisan. Oh my God, was I an artisan?
Yeah, you're still an artisan. What are you talking about?
I was an artisan, y'all. A lot of markets won't take me now because I'm not technically an artisan.
Really?
Yes.
That's dumb.
They don't take you. If it's a legit artisan market, they don't even want like, not. And I'm like, oh, I designed like the shirts. Like I didn't like print it myself, but I did design them. Yeah, no, that's not artisan, boo-boo. Okay, thanks.
Wow.
Moving on. So, anyway.
Sorry I didn't sew the shirts together.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try next time. So, I'm already tired. This place is 7 minutes from my house. So I was like, okay, I don't need 3 hours to set up, right? So I'm like, Juan, meet me there at 8:30. You know, my sister showed up. I was like, I'm leaving my house at 8:30. It takes me 7 minutes to get there. The event starts at 10. That's plenty of time with 3 people setting up, you know? Juan's like, I text him. I'm like, hey, I'm leaving my house. He's like, so you might not want to come. I said, why? He's like, well, I left early because I guess he still doesn't know like traffic in Houston on the weekends. So he didn't want to be late. Mm-hmm. So he left early. He's like, I've been out here since about 8:15 and I've not seen not one car. I said, what? I said, no. Are you at the right place? He's like, no, for real. I'm at the right place. I'm like, that's odd. There's no way. I kept looking at all my emails. I'm like, what did I miss? It is possible, right? I have a lot going on. Yeah. So I could have fucked up the day. So I was like, kept looking at my calendar. I got my physical calendar. I looked on my phone. I was like, it's the 11th today. I felt like an episode of Twilight Zone. Yeah. Like I really thought there was something going on. He's like, I was like, you sure? I said, can you circle around the school? I said, just to make sure. He's like, all right, nothing. I said, all right, well, I'm down the street. Give me a second. I'll get there, you know? And I'm like, fuck. Okay, now it's 9:20.
Okay.
I said, this is so fucking unorganized. I'm like, I can't believe this shit. And I had to get up. My poor sister's over there taking care of my kids to help me out. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I didn't ask Luisa to come in because I would have been really pissed. And that's money. And so
sister's like, what am I, chopped liver over here?
Yeah, well, no, my sister helps me out at the markets, but this time I told her like, hey, I'll make Pete come. Like, you know what I'm saying? You've been helping me out a lot at the markets, you know, so just stay with the girls. She finds that easier because, you know, she's just sitting there letting them do whatever they want. And so so now I'm like, this is really weird. So now this girl had sent an email the night before, right?
Can't wait to see you guys.
Reminder.
Yeah.
Gave her cell phone number. So I was like, okay, I'm going to call this cell. First I text the number. No response. I was like, okay. Then I call the number. It's like a direct line to the school. And I'm like, why did she say this is her cell phone number? Then I see her signature. And it said on there, office, blah, 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 something. I'm calling that number. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I call that number. Nobody, I said, if by 9:30, because now that means I'll only have 30 minutes to set up, Rob. And it just hold on a second, it gets worse. I said, if nobody answers me, I'm leaving. And if they contact me, I'm like, bro, go check all your voicemails, because I kept leaving messages. For me to say an event is unorganized, you know, it was unorganized. Because I'm an organized person, but shit falls through the cracks sometimes, okay? And then this lady rolls up, who was a vendor, was parking her car at the school we were at. Pete gets out and says, hey, do you work here? She's like, no, I'm a vendor. She's like, are you here for for this? You know, she's like, yeah. I was like, okay, well, where's the event? Because there's nothing here. She's like, oh no, it's at the school around the corner. They have 3 campuses. Why would you give, just asking for a friend, why would you give the address to the main campus if it's happening at the campus around the corner?
So you had to set up and then park your car over there?
They wanted you to set up over there and then either park on the street or park at that school. Which is what that lady had just done. Mm-hmm. She had just parked at the school, unloaded, came back to park her car. Now she was going to walk across the street. I said, oh, okay. I said, let me go over there. Then I see a food truck coming up and they're waiting there. And so I told that girl, the organizer, when I finally pulled up, I said, do you have another food truck coming? She goes, yeah. I said, well, your food truck is waiting over there. I said, because your email wasn't specific. I was annoyed.
Of course.
And I wish I wouldn't have been mean like that, but I kind of was, because I was tired from the night before. I had just done one, right? I was away from my kids, right? I get home from this event. My kids are already in bed. And then I'm waking up to hurry up and give them breakfast before I head out, before my sister gets here, so that I can do another one, right? And it was all... So by the time we set up, it is now about almost 10:20, bro. People are already there shopping and doing shit. I'm still trying to set up. I'm so embarrassed.
It stings.
So embarrassed, because I'm trying to put like my trays, like my bins, trying to shove them to the back so no one can see them, right? Because I'm still trying to unload little by little. So I sold one Penny and Kids bow and one candle. I sold $32 the whole time I was there. It was fucking cold. Pete's like, we spent more money here than we made money, because we ate there and I bought coffee there because I was trying to stay warm. So, yeah. $32. That's all I have to say. I was like, I know I didn't just come here and made $32. And then when the girl came and said, was everything good for y'all? And I was like, no, bitch, it was not fucking good for us. First of all, I was sitting over there for an hour. I should have just left. I should have just left. I'm mad that I didn't. I'm mad that we discovered where it was happening. Because I should have just left and just been like, if they would have emailed me and been like, oh, we missed you. Yeah, well, I was parked out there. You should probably check your DMs and your messages and everything. So, yeah, that was kind of a waste of a Saturday. Granted, it was only until noon. So, basically, I set up and was there for about an hour and 30 minutes. And then I had to break down again.
30 minutes?
An hour and 30 minutes.
An hour. Well, still, that's so short. That sucks, dude. I'm only laughing because it's like I'm at this point I'm nervous laughing because it's I don't know if my soul's gonna really get mad again and throw something at the wall, just reliving the story, or what.
Bro, it was like, are you kidding me right now? I'm like, how? Why? You know, you can't you can't have a market. You literally have to have a lot of volunteers for that. People have always asked me, oh, have you ever thought about throwing a market? Yeah, I need to have like a lot of manpower. Yeah. Like I need to, especially like, for example, the Miradela people, and they're also part of the HTX Boss Babes, or I think that's what they're called, HTX Boss Babes. Even though it's just them two, it's very unorganized. Your email is sent to you the day before. You know your space. They tell you how to load, unload, get the fuck out. We need these parking lots. Like, you can't be here past this time. Do not unload and leave your shit here. You know what I'm saying? There's specific instructions.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, I need you to tell me.
The one that we did in last year, which is the only one I ever referenced, was during the holidays. It was in, like, I think I said Pasadena. It was like Silver Ranch or Silver something Ranch, whatever it was. It's like a huge wedding venue, and they have like an outdoor and an indoor part to it. They had a trolley. Like, you went to go set up at the event, and then you went to go park your car at the school down the street, like literally a mile away or so. It's kind of far. They had an old school, like 1920s, 30s San Francisco trolley. They would go pick you. You had a ticket. They gave you a ticket, and that's how you got on the bus, and came back to get your car. It was pretty cool. But the organization of this event, that event, was unreal. So when it comes around next year, I don't think I've ever done it. We'll give you the info so maybe you can try it out.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'm telling you, it was very interesting. Like, I was like, the day that I decide to do one, right, is going to be because I have enough volunteers. My patronas could help me out. That's what we could do.
Hey,
my patronas can be a part of it because we have entrepreneurs all on that are part of my patronas as well. I don't know when I'll have one, so I'm just speaking out. I'm just putting it out there.
You're speaking it into existence.
I'm not saying when that will be, but I would like to have that. And I'd like to, and I am probably, that's why whenever these details and these requirements are made, although they're annoying, I get it, because I'm somebody that's like that too. I would want an aesthetic as well. Like, because when you take pictures, if you get someone to do like a drone thing and then they go from the top to the bottom, it looks really cool when it's all like
in unison,
cohesive and looks good, you know? And that's kind of like me. We're in a social media world. You want it to look cool. You want it to look nice. I mean, they gave out free drinks because they have a sponsor. So maybe Pi Tequila, who we work with now, could be somebody who could be a sponsor giving out free drinks there. They had Topo Chico. We have Tichuaclan mineral water. So now they're not working with me, guys. They're working with my husband, but still we'll
make it happen.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think there's possibilities there that we can make stuff happen to where even I could bring in Jackson Brew as my coffee person. You know what I'm saying? So
we've talked about.
I've thought about it. Trust me.
Yeah.
In my brain, it's already done. Like I've already done it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Haven't pulled the trigger yet.
No.
I ask Sol from time to time, like, what Her Lounge podcast like really embodies, and obviously entrepreneurship is probably number one, right? It's like entrepreneurship. Well, if I asked you again, because it's been a while since I've asked you this, like, what does Her Lounge podcast like? What do you want it to embody for the listener?
I really like to say everything female.
Biological
female.
female.
Okay. I would say that I really enjoy entrepreneurship. So for me, that's a lot of it. Ilse asked me to make a reel for January. Well, it was for February. So that we can, what do you call it? It was 5 tips to give an entrepreneur, right? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, what tips do I give you?
Oh, bro, come on.
And so it's weird because if you asked me a question, I'd be able to answer. But like me off the top of my head, giving tips, I just don't, it doesn't come as easy as fitness or workout tips. Those they're like this. Like I can sit there and come up with a gazillion of them. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, entrepreneurship, it doesn't come off. I can't do it it doesn't come off as fast.
What was the question originally from her? To just give 5 tips?
5 tips.
That's too broad for you. It's got to be specific.
5 tips.
What if she had said, Marisol, give 5 tips on how to source a good market to do?
Yes. So that.
How to vet a good market.
Yeah, that would probably been that.
You could have given 5 easily, right?
Yeah. It was like, and she gave me an example, right? She's got her niche because she does a specific thing. I don't really know that I'm a little bit more broad because that's why my whole thing is mom, wife, hustler, because my life is about my mom, about being a mom, about being a wife, and entrepreneurship, which would be the hustler part. But fitness is also like another one of my pillars for me, right? That's really what I was before. It was, like I said, David, who said like, yeah, unless you're only going to do fitness, like you don't want that to only be your name. He's like, because then that's all people are going to know you for. It's going to kind of throw off whenever you start pouring in all these other things. They're like, so are you fitness? I'm so confused. So that's when I've talked about this, why I decided to change it to it's Marisol, Herrera.
Yeah.
From there. But yeah, it was kind of hard. I was like, I think it was 5 tips on how to start a business. And I was like, well, first of all, I hope you got money. Like, that's all I can say. Like, you got to have money saved. Okay. Not all businesses really, and I'm saying this as an example. Where are we at on this one? Because I know this might be where I can go into segue into my next thing.
Yeah, we're half an hour in, a little over half an hour.
Okay. It's crazy because, Marissa's got me on these soft white underbelly fucking documentaries all the time. They're like little short episodes. And I've been watching so many of porn sex ones that have been the latest ones and the sugar baby ones. And it's amazing. That is what I mean by that is a business that requires zero money to begin. The last one I saw was of a gay guy, right? And smart, because he's been doing this since he was 16, which is kind of gross, right? That any grown men would do that, want to be doing nasty shit, right? But excuse me, sorry.
Salud.
Thank you. He's got enough money saved, or he says, we don't know. He's got enough money saved. He said if you wanted to quit tomorrow, he's good for a hot minute. Mm-hmm. He's like, because he's done a lot of shit. Literally. He has shitted on someone for $10,000. And that was one of his stories. He said, as funny as it sounds, he's like, some of y'all shit for free. He's like, I shit on people for $10,000.
Yeah, they're out there. You can find them. So like, I can line you up a couple people that might pay you to do that.
What? Why? And why? That's all the question I had. I was like, he's like, there's been a few that I've done. He's like, because he asked, like, what is the craziest thing, that you've done for money? And he started laughing. And he said a lot of these are like, which I believe in now with all the weird shit happening in Hollywood. He said a lot of them, he's from LA, obviously, are like pretty well-known celebrities who, and they have to sign an NDA. Is that what it's called, right?
Yeah,
non-disclosure agreement. They have to sign an agreement. They have to sign an NDA. And he's obviously why he couldn't say the name or what he did, but he's like, yeah, this person paid me $10,000. That was his fetish to get shitted on. And then he's done that for quite a few people.
Okay.
And I was like, so he's smart. He reinvests his money into stuff. So he's like, so what's the one thing you're missing? He's like, I still haven't bought a home.
Okay. I don't even know where this is going.
So he's like still working because he eventually wants to be able to buy a home, but he doesn't want to buy it and have a mortgage payment. So that's why he hasn't quit.
Oh, okay. So he's still shitting on people?
He's still shitting on people. He's still like, and here's the thing. He's like, and this is what I mean, y'all. When you find your niche, you will fucking have everything. And I hate to use this as an example, but so many of these OnlyFans or fans only, whatever it's called, they make so much money off of, they have found, like, as ill as it sounds, like she's such a hoe, or you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She's found the weirdos out there who will pay money to watch whatever it is that you're willing to do. Right?
Well, you know what's the beauty about capitalism, Sol? Is that even in those examples you just gave, there is always, when the exchange happens, both parties walk away happy.
Yes, exactly. And that's I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly what I thought about. How the exchange of something that we think is disgusting, this person won because he got shitted on, and this person won because he got $10,000.
Hell yeah.
But check him out. He lets his hair grow long. He hasn't cut off his stuff, but he did get a booty because he's very thin. And he likes to call himself like Barbie/Ken, because when he's not in Barbie mode, he also can look like Ken, because he can look like a boy and a girl.
So his pronouns are Ken Barbie.
Pretty much. And so he likes the plastic aesthetic. Although he doesn't look very plasticky himself, like his lips, he doesn't have boobs, right? Because again, he still wants to be able to do when someone wants a little boy look.
Okay. I wish he would have just said young.
A little boy look is what he said. Then obviously he's like, having breast is not going to work. He's like, but I had to get a little bit of booty for when I do dress like a girl, for those who want the girl appeal but want the penis.
Okay.
So I said, look at that. Even that is a business strategy. Like, you just thought this out. I can look like both and make money, not only one way, not just having gay sex, but also having sex. Well, he didn't call himself a transgender, so he wouldn't be transgender. I guess he would just be... what would that be? A drag?
Drag queen?
No.
Crossdresser?
Crossdresser, maybe. Yeah, I don't know what you would call that.
Closest thing.
Because he didn't call himself like transgender or anything like that.
So crossdresser's got to be.
Yeah. So, and he's got makes his money both ways. So he said he's like, He's super happy. The crazy thing was he was raised Pentecostal. And he said they even sent him away, which I didn't even know these things existed. I thought they were only in movies. When they say they send their kids off to like, what did he call it? Basically, it's like to take the gayness out of you.
Oh, yeah. Will they pray the gay away?
Yes. Basically, he was like, when he asked, like, so what did your parents say? He's like, well, basically, they just wanted to pray the gay away. He's like, and it wasn't going to happen. So I don't know what they were trying to do. Anyways, he has no relationship with his parents. He's an only child, no relationship with his parents, but he said he's happy. He also says he knew since day one that he was gay. He said he's never been molested or touched or anything like that. This was all him always. But anyway, I thought that was fucking interesting because I seriously was not listening to this interview from a disgusting, sugar baby perspective. I was looking at it as like, this motherfucker is fucking smart.
Figured it out.
He figured it out. He said, fuck it. I'll shit on you. And they're not shitting on you. You're shitting on them. That's what's crazy. And they're paying 10 grand for that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were such things.
Oh, dude, if you could think of it, it's a business. And also, to go back to what this all started with you saying, like, I hope you have a money to start a business. That's a perfect example of how you don't need money, right, to start a business. It could be literally any niche or any whatever market. And also, like the next thing that came to mind, because recently I've been going through a lot of not old, but to me they're old marketing books that I'd gone through probably almost 10 years ago at this point, and just business books. And there are a lot of recurring themes. Like business isn't that like. Everyone tries to reinvent the wheel, but like the exchange we just talked about, like what's the exchange? Like what's the service of the product for the money or the whatever reward is, right? And, in that case, you didn't need any skill. You didn't need any money. You just needed somebody that wanted the thing you could offer them. Mm-hmm. So if you have no money, but you have some skills, like what are the skills? Like, for instance, and this is what I thought of. Do you have a skill where you could go to a business owner and say, hey, I can, 5X, 10X your month's gross revenue. Okay, cool. Now let me have 3% of that, or let me get 4% of what basically it's like most sales, like let me eat what I kill. And you have no money, you have nothing, you just go in there offering your skill to them. And they're like, okay, so if you 10X their monthly gross revenue and you get 4% of that, boom, you just made 4% of that, whatever you killed, you killed with no money down and no money of your own out of pocket. So a lot of us, you included, this was what I thought of when Edith asked you that question. Like if you became one of these not characters, but we look at Gary Vee like a character, at least I do. Grant Cardone, these other people, these guru types, but they are giving people pretty valuable information. And the interesting thing is for them is that like when it comes to Gary Vee or Grant Cardone or some of the people that others absolutely hate, they didn't have them when they created what they had.
Exactly. We
have these people to see what they did.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
So the same thing with like a Warren Buffett. Like Warren Buffett didn't have Warren Buffett to create what Warren Buffett had.
Yes.
So I feel like sometimes we all get caught up in the, again, paralysis by analysis, just overanalyzing things. And we realize like a lot of the answers are in front of us. It's just about implementation and then what systems you can put in place to help get you there. And obviously people around you, if you're fortunate to have people that can help you along the way, even if it is watching your kids when you're hustling or doing whatever. Like if you got a little bit of help, then you're really at an advantage versus other people.
For sure. I was listening to that episode and I just thought it was crazy because even the whole thing with like prostitution, escorts, all those things. There's high-end escorts who will only fuck with like NFL players or ballers, legit ballers, and that is it. Like, if you're not bringing a minimum of whatever, can you imagine? Let's just think about it. Because we give up sex for free with our husbands. Can you imagine if we...
That shit ain't free. You got to put up a lot. Huh? Nothing. Go ahead. What?
Can you imagine if we said, what? You want to have sex tonight? Cool. I was going to do laundry, but for a good $5,000, this might work. Because now I can use some of that money to get somebody to come wash my clothes. I can drop it off at Washateria. I mean, you know what I'm saying? These girls, how did they figure this out?
Well, they got to look at their skill sets. Like, what do they got?
I don't know that I guess I shouldn't say that. Like, I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it is a skill set for them because that's obviously how they're making their money. And they also have to keep up with them. So it's a job because they have to look, like good, right? Mm-hmm. from nails to toes. I mean, from head to toe, because one girl talked about it, like on Soft White. I'm telling you guys, Marissa, she's the one that got, I had already watched it before, but Marissa watches it so much. Now she's made me watch it so much. I'd seen like 1 or 2 episodes, and now I go down the Soft White Underbelly rabbit hole. But that he had another escort also, and she was pretty, Rob, too. Like, she was pretty, and she knew it. She's like, and she hadn't fucked with her face yet. So it made her,
plus.
So it made her even more pretty, right? I don't know if because she was still young, that was the reason. She had fake eyelashes, but she hadn't done like the crazy lips yet. She just still looked very natural on her face. If she is getting anything done, she's doing it like the right amount. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, because her body was, you could tell, was done, but her boobs were also proportioned to the bottom of herself, because they kind of panned down like as a body, whatever, and her feet looked kind of dirty.
That's what you would expect. That's what you would expect. Dude, I watch any video, a commercial, even if it's just something random on, regular TV. They're in the park and shit. Even though I know they're in the park, if I see dirty feet, it makes me feel a certain kind of way. Like, I literally am like, come on, put some sandals on, clean your feet before you fucking shoot this, something,
I was just like, why are you wearing sandals and your toes look dirty, but everything else on you looks so pretty? Like,
what if the person she's gonna see next is into feet and also into dirty feet?
Bro, after hearing that somebody pays to get shitted on, I believe that.
Of course, there is. Joey Diaz himself said it. I like a white girl with some dirty feet.
Ew, that's so gross. I don't understand that, but I'm also not a guy. But yeah, I'm just like, I was thinking about all these things. I was sitting there at the market Friday night, and I was just watching everybody kind of set up, because again, I had my sister, myself, Juan, and my husband helping me. So everybody else was by themselves. So we set up like this, So I was sitting there. We were done before the event started, and I was just kind of observing everybody. And I was like, everybody here has one. I wonder how many here are on a mission to create a bigger brand, or if you're just here for the moment. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I don't care to do this forever. Like, for me, I'd like to have a boutique, you know what I'm saying, where I can do what I'm currently doing at the Hive for other people. I honestly feel like that's the direction a lot of businesses will start to go to. Because I say this, it starts with the food court aspect of it. If you go anywhere, that's kind of the same thing. You're paying for space.
Right.
In hopes that, and you're paying for space, for example, at the mall, because there's traffic there, right, all the time. So you're paying for your space. Now you got to make sure that you're out there. Here you go. Here's your free sample as you're walking by the food court, right? So that concept kind of has been there. Then the other place, they're here now. You'll see more common now here. But the food halls, that's also kind of the same thing, which is a food court technically, but you know what I'm saying? It's like these places you go to, they're really cool, and the aesthetic is really like trendy. They'll have a bar in there, like not like a real, like it's like a bar, but you can eat there also. And then you have another place that's a pizza place, and you have a noodle place.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but it's like you get to sit everywhere. It's like the ambiance is different. I don't really know why it's called a food hall versus a food court.
Big ass cafeteria.
Yeah. But I know that these little concepts have been there, but I feel like that's kind of like the direction I don't know that big department stores will be around much longer.
I don't know how they're around now.
And here's the reason why. I don't know if you saw that article about Neiman Marcus now. I don't know how true that is. I need to read more into it, but I read a little glimpse of it on the Apple News thing where it said they're going to focus more on their high-end customer and will no longer carry, like, for example, Vintage Havana, which would be the dupe of the Golden Goose shoe, right? But it's not really I mean, I guess it is, but this is like their lower end. This is $199 $90 shoe versus a $600 shoe. Does that make sense? But they carry both there.
Dude, that makes so much sense. I've actually, in the books I was rereading from a long time ago, it was a lot about that. Well, we'll keep going. What else about the Neiman Marcus story? Like, was that?
Well, they were just saying, like, if you're not, they're going to focus on, I think they said, like, the $12,000 customers, meaning like the ones that come in and spend $12,000.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
They're not fucking with your $200 people. Like, y'all don't need to shop here anymore. So they're gonna make it like a Saks, I guess. But Saks Fifth Avenue, I feel like still has some reasonable. And I shouldn't say that because the average person probably doesn't go buy an $800 shoe, right? But
are you catering to the average person?
But
or, not you. I'm just saying, like, are they or whoever the business owner is?
I mean, like Saks Fifth does not, right? But I think that because I think Saks Fifth, I think Neiman's is like the lower end of Saks Fifth, right? Because they still carried, like I said, shoes that are $200, $150. Nothing there is $50. If there is, I've never seen anything. It's maybe like a piece of jewelry,
right?
Maybe $50. But now that's it. And I didn't finish reading the article, but I saw that and I was like, okay, so my whole thing with big department stores is going to start. It is. I mean, we see that with the Sears that most Sears are closed down. There was Montgomery Ward, there was Mervyn's. These were way before your time, Rob. So that's why you don't know them. You're looking at me like
I remember Wieners.
Wieners was not a department store, just so you know.
Never mind.
Wieners was actually more like a Kmart.
Ah.
So, what was the other one? It was Mervyn's, Montgomery Ward, Sears, I guess Foley's, which is now Macy's, you know? But these department stores, Macy's still looks like it's going strong. And I think but I've noticed that they've carried a little bit of cheaper items in the kids department because I've seen some stuff that my mom's bought the girls. My mom's a big Macy's person, by the way. So, she'll buy them clothes when it's on sale and it's great, but it's almost like what's that other store? Is it Carter's?
Children's Place?
Children's Place that carries that. It's almost the same. And you paid for it a little bit more at Macy's because it's from Macy's versus going to Children's Place. You probably would have gotten the same thing.
What was the article about? Neiman Marcus?
Neiman Marcus. Yeah.
That's the upper or lower of Saks?
The lower.
The lower. Saks is the more, okay. So what, I guess, you know.
Saks has a restaurant you could sit and eat.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so a place like that, what they do is, you know, I was going to ask you, you've heard the 80-20 rule, right? So it's Pareto's principle, you know, like Tim Ferriss used it in the 4-Hour Work Week about like getting 20% of the output from 80% of the output from 20% of the work kind of thing. You hear it referenced in different areas of business, life, you know, leisure time, whatever. But when it comes to like business, what they're doing is, and this you can read a lot of research on this from entrepreneurs and businesses, but 20% of the people, you'll see like when you do your sales reports, typically 20% of the people spend 80% of the money. So when you focus on making that 20% of the people 100% of your clients, the margins are through the roof. That's how you build, you know, $1 million business, $1 million plus business. When you're focusing on the 80% of the people who you're willing to sell anything to at any price just to get sales, you're spending so much more time, resources, and energy in making those transactions happen than if you were spending your time on the top 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, sense. It makes so, and we're, as entrepreneurs, you're so eager to get your product sold, your brand awareness to grow, your email list and your phone number list, all these things to grow, that you're willing to do that for years. Like, and the analogy in the book that I was reading is that a lot of, and I told this to my brother, I went to go visit some family over the weekend, but like a lot of people will row their boats in place going absolutely nowhere. Yeah. Just row, going nowhere. Whereas like once you get wise to some of these things, you realize that you're in this boat to row to a destination. And sometimes you got to come to the conclusion that like,
a great analogy, Rob.
You know, sometimes you're trying to serve, you want to cater to everybody, you want to serve everybody, you want to give everybody your product or your service. And we've had this conversation about services versus products, and having done both, like they're both hard, but you always have to focus on your clientele. Is your service, like my service before was hundreds of dollars per month, right? It's like it was a certain clientele who's going to pay hundreds of dollars a month for a service. Same thing for a person who's going to buy a product for hundreds of dollars versus, you know, below the $100 mark. And yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating subject, but entrepreneurs want to fucking go so hard and so often that you start rowing nowhere, you know?
And that's kind of like my thing with my business. I don't always want to just, I kind of want to have something for everybody, which is why I was kind of willing to bring in a little bit of higher end stuff. Like my new backpacks that I just got in, they're a luxury, let me say this. They're a luxury brand of travel. And I found them because I was like, I really have been wanting to bring in higher end bags. I kind of looked into the cost of getting some made, and maybe I should go to Mexico to do this idea, because it was like, bro, nobody's going to buy a $400 bag for me yet. Like, I'm not that popular, right? I think whenever my brand grows a little bit more, then I can bring in a, $400, item. Because that's how much it would cost to make wholesale.
For you? Oh, wow.
It'd be $2 something.
Damn.
So,
But we're talking like high leather, like Italian
yeah,
leather kind of.
Yeah. I found an Italian leather vendor.
If that's what you want, that's where you get it, Italy.
So they do gloves, which I was like, oh my God. Then I thought, well, then why the fuck don't I just go to Italy and find the source? I mean, I should have I should have done that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a good excuse to go on vacation and do this for work, right? Same thing I thought about China, like getting things manufactured. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go to Hong Kong, not China, but go to Hong Kong. And I know that people are like, what? Isn't it the same? Don't say that to Chinese. Like, they'll get really mad. Same thing with Taiwanese people. They don't want to be, they're not the same. But my point to that was, I just kind of like look at it and I'm like, I want to be able to be a little bit of everything for everybody, but I also don't want to be the $20 girl. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I don't want to be $20 all the time, because that's kind of how also as an entrepreneur, you have to figure out your clientele. I know that at the Hive, I have to carry higher end things. I have to. The clientele there's more higher end. They're not trying to spend on a $20 item. To them, a $20 item seems ghetto, right? Yeah. Meanwhile, to me, it's like when I find a $20, I'm like, yes,
jackpot.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll fight over it at Goodwill.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how much the dollhouse was.
Oh, it's $20. Damn, it was a good price.
$19.99.
Oh, you never told me the price.
And so I think about all those things. But you have to also train your customer to know, like, hey, she doesn't always have these $25 items. I remember vividly, guys, the first time I was going to sell a hoodie, and David said, these are going to have to go because of the money and what it cost me to make it. He said $45. And I said, oh my God, no one's going to buy any of my stuff for $45. I'm like, no one knows me. How did I go from $20 t-shirts to a $45 hoodie? I said, no one's going to buy. He's like, you have to train your customer to know that your items are not always $20, right? And it's so true. You when you first start off, you do that because you want to get people to come buy from you. And you're like you said, you're just starting to row barely. So you're just kind of barely going against the waves. And so you're just kind of like introducing yourself. So you're willing to kind of like do this $20, $25 type thing. And sometimes you're eating up cost. You're
lucky to break even in the beginning.
Right, exactly. Because you're like, well, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? As long as people are starting to be aware, then, it is what it is. And then, as time goes by, you're like, okay, yeah, I can't do this anymore. Like, I always admire, we need to have her on here, is Mora La Flor. She knew from day one, she didn't want to be your regular flower making person. She had her vision on, I want to be a high-end flower person and that's how she has her Christian Dior brand, people that she works for, your Kendra Scotts. She knew she had this vision, right? And it's either you're going to go into this business scared tiptoeing, or you're going to go in it and you're going to be like, this is what I want. And if it's this or nothing, right? For a lot of people, right? And that was kind of for her, and it worked out for her. But it doesn't work out for everybody, to where you don't just put one foot in and you're just kind of like, well, how's it going? I think we're going good. Okay.
Water's kind of warm. Ooh, should I go deeper?
Yeah, maybe we should try, I don't know, embroidery. How many colors? Because the setup is one fee. How many colors are you going to do for embroidery? I was thinking 3. Okay, 3. So now that takes about, my mom, I'm just going to tell you guys, if you purchased a mom gang hoodie and you purchased it for the $45, I just want you to know that I ate up a lot of cost for that. And they were already made, so I couldn't do nothing about it. It took over, I think he said 200 threads in that shirt. Okay. So if you own that hoodie, know that you are rolling with a very high-end threading of embroidery. And I ate up the cost because, again, I was afraid. I was like, as it is, the look already is kind of specific. It's kind of like, it's kind of bougie, right? It's like, that's not what the word I was looking for. It's not bougie. Oh my God. It's the word ghetto and bougie together. Bougetto. There we go. I was like, what is it called?
I didn't want to say because I wasn't sure if that's true.
Yeah. It was kind of more of a bougetto, it says bomb gang.
Yeah.
The nails are like long like this.
The blue
what I'm
one,
saying?
right?
No, the pink one.
Oh, it's pink.
The pink. No, that's the Ain't No Hood Like Motherhood.
That's right.
That one
cool.
too. That one too.
Yeah, that one's cool.
I bought a very heavy jacket.
Yeah, that's
also.
good. That's a super good jacket.
It's a very good jacket, and that one too was very hard because I couldn't find a good high-end jacket at a reasonable price. The jacket alone was high, but I didn't want this jacket to be something that you just threw. You know what I'm saying? And said, I'm not fucking wearing this anymore. So. There's a few items. Pete and I this morning were talking about over coffee. He just said, isn't it cool like where you're at now? Like, you remember you were so afraid. So I just almost said, bro, it's Monday. I'm working again. I was like, I feel like I got no break this week at all, And he was like, but doesn't it feel good that just a few months ago, like a while back when you first started, when I set up that meeting with you and David, you were kind of afraid because you were like, no, I'm just a Zumba with Marisol t-shirt making person. Like, I don't know that that's my vibe. Like, I'm scared again, because I was somebody who made stuff. I refurbished things. I would go to thrift shops and refurbish it, paint it, and sell them at craft shows with, jewelry. But it was a really interesting mix because some of the stuff I would cheat. I learned how to take some stuff off of this jewelry, put it on this jewelry because I didn't like it like that. I liked it like this. So it was a lot of like, yes, I made it, but I didn't. I'm not going to sit there and bead everything together, right? But I figured out how to make it my own style. So there was a lot of that at the very beginning, but that I knew. Does that make sense? Like jewelry, I know. Making stuff, I know. Like, I don't know, like designing like DTG. I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, what does that even stand for? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that it meant direct to garment. Like, I didn't know what that was. I just kept saying DTG, didn't even know what it stood for. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of things that I learned along the way. And again, like I said, we discussed the cut and sew situation because I really wanted to do things that because I come from making, right? I was like, I don't want to go buy a t-shirt and just print on it. Like, why can't you just tell me what this avenue would go if I made it? There's no way. It's like you have so many and people that do make their stuff, not everybody makes it here. They're either going through India, they're going through China or Thailand to get their stuff, or Pakistan too. They're doing those to get their stuff made because it's cheaper. That for me is very difficult. I don't, and the reason why I say I find it very difficult is because you don't have the direct, like when I drop off my blanks to Angel, I'm able to text Angel. I'm able to ask him like, can I see an example? How's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Let's use Dawn for example. We communicate. Hey, so I made this. Do you like it with these flowers? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like to be able to talk to my people. That's also the reason why I never got out of my same. I used to work with what I had because I never wanted to go through this big. There's a ton of websites that you can go buy wholesale from. A ton. Like a ton, guys. You have no idea. Just so you know, if you're looking for resources, I didn't know this, but Etsy will let you buy packages of resources. If you want someone that makes I don't know, I'm going to give you an example. Like, let's just say you want someone that you want to go into making leather jackets. You type up leather jacket resources. There's people who will sell you their sources and it's not even expensive, like $35, whatever, and they'll give you all their sources. I have a bunch of them saved because I'm ready to go that route with some of my stuff. And the reason I say that is because I can't go past an extra large. There's just not in the fashion wholesale industry. They do not cater to anything bigger than a large. Very, very few do. And when I tell you that when extra large is part of their plus size, and it's a significant amount.
I was going to say, how much are they adding to that?
A lot. Not even like the way t-shirts happen. Like t-shirts, it's like $3-4 more. I can handle that. You know what I'm saying? I can do
keep getting deep in this conversation. You want to tell people if they want to listen
Sure.
to come over on Friday's episode?
So if you haven't yet, guys, be sure to come over to HERR Lounge Podcast Patreon. So you go to Patreon/HERR Lounge Podcast, become a part of a HERR world. We've got quite a few new people in there.
I think we broke 40.
I think we broke 40. So thank you guys for coming over. Will we make it to 50? That is the question.
We will, just how fast?
Yeah. I'm hoping this year at least we'll get to 50.
Oh, dude, I was thinking like next month.
Hey, but if I said when I get to 50, I'm closing it off. And then we're starting a whole brand new tier, and that's it. They're not going to be a part of
the OGs.
So I'm only doing 50 OGs.
Okay.
And then after the 50 OGs, you're still going to be a part of our world, but you'll just be a G, not an OG. So just saying. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. See y'all next week.